your pounders. So the 1, 2, 4. I get down, so I can get down on the floor.
Yeah, I can't believe it. We're here. First episode of Blacktop Sports. Who would have thought that myself, Flacco, Finn, and Big Shaq here would actually be pulling this shit together and getting it done? A sports of all things, right? So like, haters, beware. Dreamers, fucking keep doing your thing.
What's good though? How you doing?
All right, so
Today,
it was all right, man. A good end of the week is a good week. Peaceful. Everything's growth, positivity. Yourself, how's the family?
Everything's great. You know,
That's how it's
God is
supposed to
good.
be. You know, all the time.
You know, we here. Shout out to Street Media for having Blacktop Sports. We home.
You already know. You gotta check out S.STREET Media on the gram and everywhere else, including YouTube. Follow the tags. Get the URLs down.
Yep.
Do your jobs.
Exactly. So Tito, what's good? Talk about Blacktop Sports. What is Blacktop Sports?
Blacktop Sports.
Give the viewers out there an outlook of what we do.
All right,
you know?
cool. So there's so many outlets for everything else that's going on right now, right? Arts, entertainment. and whatnot.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we all know somebody that's into art and entertainment, right?
Right.
No one's really showing love to the underground athletes.
Nobody.
Who, in some shape or form, they are artists and entertainers because of what they're doing. Regardless of what aspect of athleticism that's taking place,
Right.
there's a certain level of beauty, and it's not being captured. And that's what we're here for. We're here to shine light upon those that don't have the light shine on them because of whatever circumstances life may have dealt them. So if and anybody knows anybody that's doing anything that deserves a shot, let us know what's up, man, because we're all for growth and positivity and helping everybody get that good energy out there.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, you know, a lot of athletes been hitting me up, you know, wanting to know was I'm going to do a sports show, you know, was I'm going to do a podcast, you know, they had something to say. So, you know, I thought the time was right. I'm also an athlete myself. I played a lot of basketball growing up here in Brooklyn, NYC area. I built a lot of relationships with a lot of positive pro athletes in all genre of sports. So, you know, we started Blacktop Sports. We want to bring a lot of athletes here and let them talk about their daily life, you know, when it comes to sports, school, you know, and pretty much basically everything. You know, it's pretty much, you know, we come in, we talk about sports, you know, give other opportunities, other athletes and stuff. So what you think about that?
Sure.
You know?
No, I think it's fantastic because all outlets at one form or another get played out.
Right.
And there's nothing really in the realms of what we have planned.
Right.
So this is a phenomenal way to get that started.
Right,
Especially
definitely.
with athletes that are actually, with individuals that are athletes, not just sitting behind a desk. It's a lot different speaking to someone about sports and broadcasting if they've never laced up.
Well, let me ask you a question then, you know. The Super Bowl just passed.
What?
You know, Tom Brady recorded what is his fifth, I believe 6 or 5 NFL rings. So what do you think about that? You know, he's being called, you know, the GOAT now in quarterback era. You know, in his era. You know, I watched the game a little bit. You know, to be honest with you, but it's like the same thing all over again. You know, they get there and they just blow teams out.
I don't take anything away from his talent because he is a talented individual.
Right.
But it does seem like he is chosen if we're going a certain way.
Right.
Because I thought there were rules for a reason, and
Right.
you're trying to catch the ball and I'm copping fields on you. We're in the wrong sport. Which is why I kind of like I glazed at it, but it's been years where I could focus on it because it just seems blatant.
Right.
At least before growing up, it wasn't so in your face that the biggest scandals were steroids, right? So everybody's fucking now he's hitting home runs because of steroids. But if you know, when you really get to it, he's a professional. He sits in front of a machine that's throwing 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. He could strike out when he wants.
Exactly, and you know, football to me is like playing chess. You know, it's actually a hard sport. You know, you really have to pick and choose your plays. You know, everything that you do. From what I did watch, you know, they killed them. You know, it wasn't even a contest.
No, I didn't.
You know, I saw things. You know, I hardly watch, you know, football, but I saw things. I started to understand, you know, the dynamic of plays, you know, on how these plays are run, you know, on which way the wide receiver or which way the cornerback go. It's awesome, bro. You know, it's definitely awesome.
It takes a lot of thought behind it, even more so to control it.
Right.
Because with 200-pound men plus running at each other, and sometimes the conditions aren't as we'd like, and anyone could slip and break an ankle or something like that.
Right.
So it does take a level of ingenious to get this going on.
Right.
But to see professionals at that level kind of be scared to score.
3 points, right? What is it, 3 points? They only had 3 points.
I was like, someone's daughter's in the basement.
3 points.
It's a Super Bowl.
3 points.
Get out of here. Get out. And the 3 points that they make is actually like set a record or some shit. Because less than 10 kicks were made past the 50-yard line for the Super Bowl or whatever. So yeah, they get that. Mm-hmm. But everything else, I'm not really feeling it. It seems a little too WWE for me.
Right,
which is real. They have to be real athletes. They have to know what they're doing.
So okay,
but it's a lot easier to take a hit when you know
it's
coming.
He's going to repeat again for another ring? Do you think New England will make it right back in the
I
Super Bowl?
I think there's been way too much blatant controversy, and if they do it now,
right,
they're playing a very dangerous game.
Right,
and it's awesome that you and I are speaking of it because they're putting Jordan up against him. Right, and
that's two different sports. So I hear that,
that's
I
why
hear that
that's what I'm saying.
on other shows and stuff like that. But I pay it no mind because that's two different sports. So but that really doesn't pay me any mind.
But we gotta take into consideration our communities,
right,
and how social media takes advantage of that.
Right.
So we have now a movement trying to go towards growth, yet they're stagnating our growth.
Well.
They're not allowed. They're all right. We were allowed to do certain things for a certain amount of time.
Right.
So it seems like not only is our time over,
right,
I think maybe he gets one more.
Well,
just to get one more. Just to be like, remember who's in charge.
That's cool. We got a guest that's gonna come on the show with us. Let's bring him in. We also gonna talk football. We're gonna talk a lot of sports with him. He's a really great guy. And he's actually somebody I grew up to, watching playing basketball. He also showed me some moves here and there and stuff like that.
I was waiting to hear that one.
And he has to enlighten, about, the outside of sports, basketball and stuff like that. So I'm going to introduce him right now. I'm going to bring in my homie Lanard. Come on in. Come on in, Lanard. What's going on, bro? Let's bring him in. Bring him in. Oh, yeah, we got to set the mic up for him. Let's give him a second. Give me a second, y'all. We here.
Yeah.
What's going on? No, what's going on, brother? Thank you for dropping by for our first episode.
Thank you very much.
Blacktop Sports.
For literally blessing us with this one.
Nah, no doubt. That's dope, though.
What's going on? How you doing?
Man, I'm here, man. Blessed, man.
You're blessed? What you been up to? What's going on?
Living life, man. Really like living life. I'm coaching now.
That's great. That's great.
One day at a time, man. My life different, man.
Well, tell the Blacktop Sports viewers, your history in sports, your history in basketball. Well, enlighten them. Let them know.
I played all sports coming up. I come from that era.
Right.
I come from that era. We played all sports. I'm talking Coco Livio or Ring Livio, depends upon the neighborhood. Tag. We had games like you smack somebody in the head, you be running from him all day.
Right.
Open neck.
Yeah, open neck. You know what I mean? But basketball, that's my love. I played that.
Yeah, right now we in pretty much the basketball season. Everybody's
the new basketball season.
The new basketball
this basketball
season
is different.
But before we get into that, let's talk about you. You grew up in New York City, Bedford-Stuyvesant. You play ball pretty much with one of the best street basketball teams that, honestly, I thought was in the world. Honestly, I never seen nobody actually play like you guys growing up in the 90 era.
Shout out to Kenny Kings.
Shout out to Kenny Kings for that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's go back. Let's don't go back to the beginning, but let's go back to like the Soul in the Whole era. When you hit the court and it's like the whole best eyes there. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about when pretty much. Hold on. Let's talk about the X-Men game when y'all are X-Men about to play. That feeling. Let's go back to that time. That feeling when you walk on the court.
You ain't even trying to let them warm up. Jump right into it.
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
Gloves is off here, man. Shout out to X-Men though too, man. Got a lot of love for them, man.
Shout out to D'Artagnan. Shout out to X-Men. He's actually gonna be on the show soon, so keep a lookout for that.
Man. You know, New D'Artagnan for a lot of years. And X-Men, for me, they came on the end more or less for me. Like, I was on my way out.
Right.
You know, like, my young goons was coming in.
Right.
Cell and Bugs
Bugs
and them dudes, man, which is a whole different element, man. However, for us, like, the atmosphere was crazy. Like, just basketball, like, you was loved, man. The court was sacred. Like, dudes ain't do certain stuff on the court. Dudes was respected.
Right.
You know, but the game was serious. Everybody could play back then.
Right.
Everybody can't play now.
Right.
You know, and I'm not trying to throw none of these new kids under the bus, man.
Right.
But we got 1 million coaches and not enough teachers.
Right.
You know, a lot of kids in New York City can't play.
Right.
Because they're not being taught the fundamentals. They're not understanding
What
it's like to be a positionless basketball player.
Right. Well, pretty much in our era, pretty much in your era, basketball, you know, it was a lot of hustling, a lot of grind, getting dirty. I honestly, the kids is not doing that, you know, right now.
Yeah. Well, you know,
check now.
These
You
kids
know, on a
not.
sponsorship.
So it's like
these kids more Hollywood.
Do you think?
They don't play on concrete. They don't play on concrete.
They don't. They
Nah.
don't play on concrete.
But also, to the society we live in, too. Like parks to a degree, basketball parks or safe havens were a place of refuge. Kids can go there and really like get it in. You play ball and it was a camaraderie. You had a situation, you scrapped it out. Worst case scenario, you had to fight twice. You didn't really have to fight too many times, you know, with the same person.
Right.
But now, like, the park's not safe. Kids don't go. There's no gyms. There's no gyms. Like, you know, it's hard to teach. It's hard to teach. A lot of kids, you know, they watch a game. It's Fortnite. They do all this other stuff. You know, we play basketball. Like, that's how we did it. That's how you got girls. That's how you got in the clubs.
You guys listening? Put down the controller.
Yeah, like, put the games away, man.
Dribbling helps you with your hands.
Well,
work on your shot.
Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about competition-wise in basketball. In your era, you know, I also played and I watched you growing up play, and I learned a lot of, you know, moves and a lot of fundamentals from you guys watching you playing ball. However, growing up in the sty, we all had like our own players. Everything was a whole. But if you go out to Coney Island, everybody out there plays on the same level.
To a degree.
You know, to a degree.
See,
you
the thing about shout out to Coney Island. Mad dudes from Coney Island I played with. Mike Spencer, Jumping Kirk, Bernard Kelly, a lot of dudes, Leroy Flood, Dave Alabanjo. It's numerous dudes. Right. But Coney Island is Coney Island.
Yeah.
A lot of times they didn't come to the style.
That's what I'm saying.
Or
they never came to the style.
Nah, they came.
They came, but it wasn't like how.
A lot of times they came and played on other teams. They didn't really come as their force all the time. Right. But it didn't take none away from them because them dudes brought it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Them dudes brought it. But
compared to the style, the style was
just different. Brooklyn's just different. Right. We not okay with nobody busting our tail. We ain't with it. Right. We coming hard. Win, lose, or draw, we coming hard. And at the end of the day, we have positionless basketball players. You got 6'5", 6'6" dudes like Sean Scarborough that put the ball on the floor and was a magician with it. Like, it wasn't too many people that could pass
take
like
the ball
this
from him. Yeah, it was.
And then too many kids that could pass like this kid. You had Martin out of Brevoort. Right. Very, very, very much underappreciated. 6'6", but you can't take it from him. He see over every guard. Yeah. You know, like players like that. Glenn Harden out of Brevoort. You know, Bobby Cunningham from Nostra made a legend. He's a legend in Australia.
You hear those names? He's calling Tito those names. He's calling really,
these guys were
playing New York basketball.
Serious, man. I'm talking about, and went to every borough and did it. Everywhere Brooklyn went. Shout out to the Jones brothers. Everywhere Brooklyn went.
Shout out to Charles and
Lamar. For sure. Everywhere Brooklyn went, they put it down. Right. You know, like in our era, it was no night off. You talking about Booby, Todd Davis, Anton Marchant, you know, the founder of the Conrad McRae League. Yes, yes. It's numerous guys, man. Like I can go on and on. Yeah, but definitely. It's like it was hard.
We want you to give like more of in-depth encouragement. We want everybody to know that you was there. You played in this era. You understand what I'm saying? Like you played in this era, and I think this era needs to be explained. So,
like our era, like in all honesty, I think our era was one of the toughest after the Pearl Mark Jackson era, which is like a
Right.
3-year gap.
Right.
It's like our era, like for four
Right.
4 to 6 years, man. It was no night off.
Yeah, no, you
Like
absolutely
everybody
right.
could play. You talking about X-Men, Nike One,
Yeah,
Nike
One. Shout out
Express,
to Brian. You can't forget Brian.
Ice-T. Shout out to Frank.
Shout out to Frank. Can't forget Frank. neither.
St. John's. You know, even Dennis Miller. God bless him,
God
man.
bless Miller. Yeah.
Jackie Robb. You know,
Right, yes.
he taught the game while he coached the game. Major shout out to LG, one of the toughest tournaments to play
man,
in.
LG was tough.
Yeah.
Tito, what's
Yeah.
going on over there? What you jump in there.
Listen, nah, you know, I
I
have
know you in the
absolutely.
comment.
You know what the best part is
What's
that I
up?
agree with you 100% because
Right.
I'm from the Bronx, and not only does every borough have their style, but every neighborhood has their style.
Right,
but I
right.
had to leave the Bronx
Shout
to
out
play
to
ball.
Shout out to the Bronx legend
Because-
Malloy.
Oh yeah.
I
Shout out
found
to
it
Lloyd.
more competitive down here because it was like it was a little too pretty out in the Bronx, and it was either too pretty or like everybody's getting clotheslined and shit like that. So it wasn't no real. I could take a hard foul if we playing, if you know how to play. But if you just come off the bench to clip me, we're gonna have a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Different
So
era,
it was-
because back then the Bronx had a lot of tough dudes. Like I said, shout out to the boy Malloy,
Oh, yeah,
aka
absolutely.
Future,
Play-wise, but it was.
Chris Dinkins.
But the Bronx didn't really stick together like Brooklyn did playing ball.
Well, that's because you got the separation. Because a lot of Bronx kids went downtown to Rice for high school in Manhattan.
Yeah, and that's true. They
You know what I
sure
mean?
did.
It was spread out, or they went to the local schools. And but you had you Riverside. You had the Gauchos. You had
Oh, definitely.
you had Stone Gym, LaGuardia House. There was a lot of clubs, so dudes ventured out because sometimes it'd be hard to make the club in your hood because you got dudes from your hood that's nice. They might not be in school, but they nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like the Bronx was tough. Stevenson, like you speak about the Bronx, you got to speak about like Ross Strickland, like one NBA great out of the Bronx. Jamal Mashburn, like these dudes is Hall of Famers, man.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a
no,
doubt. But
yeah.
what I'm stating is that there wasn't the camaraderie. As you can go to Brooklyn and with regardless of what neighborhood it is, everybody's got their own different style, and they're from there. But from the X, it wasn't like
Some kids play like they was from
wasn't more
Harlem.
like-
Some kids play like they was from here. Right?
Yeah,
I can
everybody
I'm
had
from
their own
Harlem,
style.
but the way I
Right.
play, like you play hard, whatever, cool, bet, good looking. But that's because I wasn't entertained
Right.
in my part of the X. And
Right.
when I would venture off, it was difficult because it was a waste of time most of the
wars
time.
at Roberto
Yeah,
Clemente.
you know
For
what
me,
I'm saying?
I know I had
Clemente
wars
was-
at Roberto
Clemente
Clemente.
is crazy. But at the
Yeah,
same
Roberto
time,
Clemente.
the-
Yeah, it was like going up there
a
playing
lot of
ball.
the people that were playing in Clemente weren't really
I had
from
wars.
the area.
I had wars in Monroe. Shout out to Mike Andrews, St. Raymond's. That's my guy.
It was the Bronx is more like traveling athletics. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was like at certain
Castle
ages,
Hill is real big
at certain
right now.
ages because I couldn't leave certain areas.
Right.
It was like this block sucks.
Well, right now, don't you coach a AAU
coach
team right now? Let's
AAU.
talk about that. You coach AAU. What age limit and stuff?
I coach
you
AAU Justice League. This is our second year.
Okay.
Really proud of the guys.
Right.
We have two affiliates. We have Justice League New York and we have Justice League Atlanta.
Okay.
And we have 16, 17-year-old girls in Atlanta. We have all the way from fourth grade up until high school in Atlanta as well. Here in Brooklyn, we have 8th grade.
Okay.
And we have 9th grade.
All right. Well, how can viewers want to get their kids into sports when they try out for your AAU team? How could they come out and find out?
I'm actually posting some stuff on my Instagram page, which is Just Us League. It was one word, ATL_NYC. And I've been posting because we're actually about to have tryouts for March. In
Okay.
March for our traveling team. And it's a good thing. We're teaching basketball, but we also teaching life skills.
Right.
And we're trying to really help these kids. And my sole purpose is, one, I love the game, but I'm also a victim of gun violence because I lost my son to the streets.
Right.
So I'm trying for other people not to lose theirs.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we giving
Yes.
back. We giving back like that. And shout out to this platform, man, because the kids need to hear that. They need to know that there's people doing other things. There are so many things you could do to be successful.
Right.
Basketball is just an outlet. And we're trying to put the kids in position where over the next 4 years, at least for 8th graders, 9th graders, for the next 4 years, they could be in position to get as close to zero balance for college as possible. And that's the whole thing. It's about them going to school for free. Because these parents are running around with these kids to these tournaments, buying them these sneakers, missing work, having to change their vacations and all that for these children. So at the end of the day, if this kid can get as close to zero balance, that's his biggest payment he can give his parents.
Okay, that's
you know what I mean. That's how we, you know,
that's
that's how we giving it up, man.
That's pretty much awesome. You know, I mean, when we growing up, you know, playing basketball here in NYC, we had a program called the Jackie Robinson program.
Yeah, dope.
And you know that God bless his soul, Mr. Miller, Dennis, Mr. Miller, he saved our, soul, pretty much with the program. So what you're doing, I pretty much commend you because right now the kids don't have that.
Yeah.
They don't have that right now.
You know it is.
All.
You know it is. There are a lot of programs. Shout out to Bridge Nation, Brooklyn Bridge. Shout out to Team Supremacy.
Right.
Kane Unlimited. There are several teams in Brooklyn. The Wrens, the Jayhawks. There are a lot of organizations in Brooklyn. It's just that it's hard because some of these programs are elite or considered elite.
Right.
And some kids aren't eligible or talent-wise able to make these clubs.
And how do you come about encouraging them kids, to get eligible to play? Because, I mean, growing up in high school, we all would act a fool from time to time. And I clearly remember, I had to leave the high school team because I failed 2 classes. Well, I wasn't eligible. So
we definitely promote
right.
Academics before athletics. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, no matter how nice you are, because there are several people before us who were super nice and everything, but they didn't know how to manage money.
Yeah.
Or they had,
you can go. We can go all day, all night about a lot of players we know who did manage.
So we're trying to teach them really to understand that athletics is important. And also too, if you can't commit to basketball, and I tell any parent this: if your child can't commit to the classroom, he shouldn't be allowed to commit to basketball.
Right.
And that's what it is.
And that's what it is.
Us parents, we got to stop enabling these children. Let them think it's okay to lie and not come to practice or to miss practice and then go to the mall, or they can't come to practice but they playing Fortnite, and then we want to know why they're not playing.
Yeah.
So. It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's true. That's
but books first, man.
Books first.
Books first because
you gotta learn how to save the money once you make
like
it.
Reading books, y'all. Just to let y'all know.
Books is dope. It's so crazy in this day and age. You gotta get audio books now, man. Because
the books read to you now, right?
Because I'm in the car all the time, man. So I need the book to read to me. When I rode the train, I read books.
Right.
So it's so different.
Well, you're gonna hang out with us,
without question. I thank you guys for having me, man.
Definitely. We're gonna hit you. We got a couple of more topics we want to talk to you about.
Say no more.
We're gonna talk about the state of NBA. We're gonna talk about All-Star Weekend. We're
That's
a little
dope.
college as well.
That's
and
cool.
my guy Tito over there.
I got a couple questions in there too.
Yeah,
I was racking the brain up to try to make it a little more than just the typical interview questions and whatnot.
Okay.
Like, never mind what's your favorite move and shit like that. But we're gonna get a little creative.
That's what's up.
Definitely. So I want to give a special shout out, to one of our sponsors, American Couture. If you looking for some nice wear, you want to take your lady out. You want to go to a nice restaurant with a nice button down. Check out American Couture. AmericanCouture.com. They got what you need. All right, Tito. They got what you need.
Gotta get my sexy on.
When you come out to these basketball games with me, you can get your sexy on.
Every once in a while, it's appropriate. It's appropriate, I gotta let them know.
Listen, y'all, just to let y'all know, Flacco Fit, is actually he's not a worldwide trainer, but he's actually a great trainer. His abs is like,
this dude,
his abs is pretty much like Brillo, the silver one. What is it, steel wool? His abs like steel wool, So if y'all guys, have any questions to working out, fitness and all that, definitely
please feel free to hit me up at Flacco Fit and Instagram.
Flacco, he hit you
personal
up with
programs, nutritional information.
Yes. So,
trying to make you feel better. I'm good.
That's it. So
I definitely could use that being up there in age.
Okay, so Mar, let me ask you. We got a couple of more questions we're gonna ask you before we go actually into the in-depth of this NBA talk. I can't wait for that. Right now, everybody talking about the league right now. So we're gonna talk about the league and stuff like that. Tito, any
can we take it back to the era that we were speaking of? Can we?
Yeah, take it back. Take it back.
I'm one of the questions. Well, the main question that I have is it's actually more on a personal level. Being that I've actually played basketball, was like, and being that you played in so many courts, do you have a favorite court and/or tournament?
That's a great question. I mean, you played in numerous tournaments.
Yeah,
here in
I
Brooklyn.
played all over.
Yeah, so
but I
like
think
to
my
hear this
favorite
one.
place to play would be the Coliseum in Brevoort.
Okay.
Because it was
Yeah.
encaged.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
enclosed.
It was enclosed. It was
and
enclosed. Yes,
it was hostile.
very hostile. You know,
It
shout out to the Diggs family. Okay,
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Diggs.
I pretty
Sure.
much learned my ways of basketball playing in the Coliseum for about over 10, 15 years growing up. Miss Diggs brought me in, and it was just took off. From
And you
there,
couldn't say you
know.
played ball if you didn't play there.
You can't say that at all. Like you had to play in the
Especially in
Coliseum.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Had to play there.
You had to play there. Like,
Night games at 15. You playing night games.
with lights and just imagine the whole park, the whole project is in the park watching you, bro.
Word.
See,
Yeah.
I can't see. I didn't have it in the Bronx.
You
See
know
what I'm
what?
saying? I had to travel.
Hold
I had to
on,
travel
hold
to
on.
learn
You know
that.
what else was like that too? Left rack.
Yeah.
Left rack had that one cage,
Mm-hmm.
and all them dudes was just around that one cage.
Small.
So, yeah, that is one
Yeah.
cage. So it was like these tournaments. If you ain't playing, shoo, you wasn't known.
So the element. So what brings that element to to that specific location?
You know what it is? It's crazy. Like I said earlier, like basketball is like the safe haven.
Right.
The gangsters, everybody, the mothers, everybody came to see the games because we were cable. There was no ESPN. We were their cable. They wanted to see Drew dunk. They wanted to see people like really get it in, man. Like so, therefore, everybody came. And that was the outlet after work. Dudes just bringing their chicks there for dates.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know
That's
what I
true
mean?
too.
So like the Coliseum was where it was. God bless Sonny Lewis, man. Shout out to
God
Sonny
bless
Lewis,
Sonny.
man.
Well, listen, we got about a quick minute before intermission. I'm gonna ask you one question. I gotta put you on the spot. So I'm just letting you know right now. You know they're gonna be hitting you up because they're gonna be like, yo, why him? Name your top 5 Brooklyn players right now. Your top 5
Right now or of all time? Because you said
of all time. Name your top 5 Brooklyn players of all time. NBA, college, it doesn't matter. Your top 5 Brooklyn players played in the park. Bust this person ass here. Bust this person
Pearl
ass here.
Washington.
Of course, he was going to say Pearl. Shout out to Coach Brown. I remember one practice. That's all he talked about was Pearl. And the whole practice.
Pearl Washington,
Okay.
Lloyd Daniels,
Lloyd Daniels.
Anthony Cosell Brown. Probably one of the best guards that ever come out of Brooklyn.
Right.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, I got to put you on the spot right
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Pearl Cosell, Lloyd Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's so many guys that played in Brooklyn, but all of them
Yeah.
wasn't from Brooklyn.
You put Conrad in that list?
As a big,
you put Conrad.
as a big, I would put Conrad. You picking a 5, like we going position wise.
Right.
I would put Conrad.
Okay.
I would put Conrad. And
That's another good addition to the question, the specific.
yeah.
If we're gonna do that, that's a whole nother list.
I'm gonna put a question
If we're putting
mark.
a 5 or
I'm gonna put a
putting-
question mark.
I'm
gonna put a question. I'm gonna put a question.
I want
put
his
a
top
question
5,
mark.
that's all.
I'm gonna put a question mark for number 4. For number 4.
Okay.
But if you saying the top 5 players I saw play in Brooklyn, talking about Pete Edwards,
Oh man.
aka the Secret Weapon.
Yeah.
Run tournament IS8 in Queens.
Yes.
The best slogan in the world: "Bring your game, not your name." You know what I mean? Shout out to Pete Edwards. You know, but Bill Sadler.
Fire.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, we're gonna take a little break for a minute. We gotta pay a little bit of bills, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the NBA. We're gonna talk a little bit about college. And that's it. Shout outs to you coming through. And so we here. Tito, what's going on?
I
Talk to
definitely
me.
before we go to intermission, I want to give a shout out to my man Bill Collector PA. Congratulations to him and his wife for
There you
tying the
go.
knot today, making
Right.
that.
Oh,
Salute,
congratulations.
Congratulations,
Jump
Joe.
the broom. Jump the broom.
Keep it going, man. So far it's been
the
your
broom.
year. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Keep it going. Keep the roll.
They
ball
used to say
rolling.
congratulations to the wife and my deepest condolences to the groom. You know, that's what we used to say. That's dope though. Marriage is beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Continue that bond. They've been going through life and the circumstances and succeeding with them. So I definitely have to extend the love to them because they've been going through a lot, and it's definitely fantastic.
Shout out, that's
thing to
dope.
Do that.
Congrats.
We still going, or we keep
I'm gonna start tap dancing, and we're gonna do the music real quick before the break.
So Tito, tell me something.
Shout out to
let me ask you a
S.STREET
question,
Media,
Tito. How many sit-ups you did today?
How many sit-ups?
Yeah, this guy.
All of them.
This guy right here.
He did them all.
Y'all laughing. He's dead serious.
All of them. I don't know.
He's dead serious.
Nah, but that's serious discipline, man. Like,
It's the fitness aspect has basically at an older age has been my salvation.
Right.
When I was younger, it was various athletics.
what motivates you to work out though? Like, or do you feel a way when you don't work out?
I feel a way when I don't work out because I've been consistent for such a long time. But what really got me to focus was I don't like seeing my friends and family deteriorate in front of me, which things that we could prevent.
Right.
And it's really comes down to like balance. Like I'm a skinny fat kid. I love donuts and all sorts of shit that's not good for you. But at the same time, I drink a lot of water and I make sure I do my setups and I walk. You know, so it's difficult, but an individual can actually enjoy what they eat and their life if they find their balance. They just need to be strict with it. They need to like talk to themselves like they're talking to the kids.
Right. That's big.
And we're still on.
Reach around and say 1, 2, 4. I get down, so I can get down on the floor. This 1, 2.
Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Don't stop. stop. Don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Don't stop.
Oh, we back. Flacco fit. We back. Flacco Blacktop Sports.
S.STREET Media.
Shout out to S.STREET Media. S.STREET Media. Shout them out. Love them. Giving us this opportunity. You know, this is our first podcast. It gets better.
That's what it is, man. Listen, man.
Who else brings a legend on for the first podcast though? Like, and to really talk like in-depth personal stuff though. Like
seriously, let's get a clap for that legend. Let's get a clap for legend. Hey, y'all don't understand. I'm gonna tell you a little story. He probably don't even remember this story neither. You know, I think we was in 21 Park. It was a Sonny Lewis tournament. You guys was playing against. I think you was playing against Ice-T. I'm not too sure. Don't lie. Don't get me lying. But you had the ball in your hand, and I don't know if you remember Trav. You sure guy. He lived on Macon. He was on Macon side.
Trav.
I don't know. You remember Trav? But Trav came. Boom, boom, boom. He scored on you. Boom. Right. You all nonchalant. Yo, give me the ball. You know how you do. Give me the ball. You had your little flat top. So,
some things was easy.
Yeah. So he talking hella smack to you. I'm not even gonna say shit. I'm gonna keep it funky. He talking hella smack to you, right? And the whole time he talking smack to you, you putting the ball through his legs. The whole time. He like this. He on defense, and the whole time he like this regular, putting the ball through his legs and his legs. Like, all right, I got you.
And he was subject to the abuse.
You remember Keith? Black Keith from Briefway?
Yeah, I hope he turned out all right. You know, he just had a situation.
Yeah, I know.
Hope
right?
everything worked out for him.
Yeah, he was on the side with me when this happened. Yeah. And he was like the whole time. He was like, Trevor, how you talking shit to Nard? And he putting the ball through your legs.
Yeah, just like Keith.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't do. I was amazed at that. And then you scored on him. I'm like, oh my God. You know, so that's why he's a legend to me. You know, he played in that era where you wanted to get on the court, but then you didn't want to.
You know what? You know what? A lot of people like when you say legend and everything. You got a lot of people that dispute that, and that's understandable.
Nah, that's
because I tell people all the time, your opinion is never wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that. That's just how I feel. I said, but at the end of the day, like I won everywhere I played. Right. And a guy asked me one day, he said, "Yo, how did you start with all those stars that you played with?"
See, that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. The love and the respect you had, we had for you as a player. You know, it was like watching you was like, okay, we take piece of you, you know, or we'll take piece of Charles. Yeah. You know, it was like that. And but then we knew for a fact nobody can hold you.
But what it was is that, like for me, I was able to get mine because the game permitted it at certain times. But my job was to get everybody else involved. That's why everybody enjoyed playing with me because I made sure everybody
you did distribute the hell out of that ball. You was awesome with distributing the ball.
The thing is, like I said, someone asked me, like, how did you get to start on Kenny teams and he had all those stars? Mm-hmm. I said, because I was the only one on the team that only had one job. Mm-hmm. Everybody else could play 2-3 positions. Yeah, only could play one.
That's true. I mean, you know, I couldn't. So, I to be honest with you, to this day, you know, I still have questions. You know,
and Kenny needed somebody to beat up on. I mean, he fussed everybody out, but nobody got it like Lanard got it. It was just
amazing to me that, you know, you fucking guys will go 21-0, 30-0. 30-1, and they go 30-1 because somebody left because they got into a fight like that.
Nah, a couple of years.
Like, but it was like they would be like teams would come out hype, you know, because play against you, Charles, Lamar, it doesn't matter. Anybody on Kenny Kings, you play against somebody on Kenny Kings, you hype, you know, you like this. But it's like once third, fourth quarter come around, they was losing by 50 points.
Because, you know, it's crazy, but we always tell this joke. Teams didn't really come to beat us. Right. They came not to lose by 30.
Let's clap for that one.
Y'all heard that?
Y'all heard that? And I was a witness to that.
The foul line and everybody that doesn't look and doesn't
we
put
had
the
a
ball
kid,
down. And
I played with a kid named Prentice. Mm-hmm. Kid had zip code range. Like if he get a steal, I run behind him because he will not take a layup. Seriously, he was shooting threes in high school when there wasn't no threes. You know, so you got players like that, man. Like it's easier. You couldn't go zone because we had dead eye shooters. We couldn't guard us in a post. I played with a kid named Ali in the block. For 10 years, never seen him get a shot block. Shout out Central Connecticut State. My dude was a problem.
Right.
You know, you got again, like I said, Bobby Cunningham, Larrell Hendricks, all Brooklyn. Shout out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like everybody could play. Our teams were so good, seriously, that when I came out the game, secretly I was rooting for my guy to mess up so I can get back in.
And yeah,
Because dudes were so good, I might not.
Let's clap for that shit right there. You know? And he's dead serious with it. It was like, you know, it was amazing to me that, you know, first of all, when Kenny Kings played, it was like the whole Brooklyn came to watch them play number one. And it was like before the other team get on the court, you saw the fear in the other team. And it was like, it didn't make no sense. Why are you playing? You know, I couldn't understand that. Basketball was supposed to be a sport where everybody plays it. I didn't even fucking Michael Jordan was on that court. I'm like this. I'm playing. You bust my ass. You bust my ass. So I'd be like, okay, I played against him. I can say that. At least I played. So to me, it was like
it became psychological though, because we talked a lot of smack. Our coach talked a lot.
Everybody
of smack.
talks. Yeah, you know,
But-
Kenny was like the master of
the
talking
thing
smack.
is,
He
like,
was.
It's like a fight. You're
Right.
trained for fight. You're a trainer.
Right.
A person trains
Right.
for something. Then something goes against what they were training for. Like you throw a jab, he's supposed to throw a jab. You throw a jab, you throw a hook. You resort to what you know, because that hook hurt it.
Right.
So now you go back to the game plan, go out the window. You go back to doing what you know, become a survival instinct. So guys that have a game plan, and they can't stop the shooters. So now they got now their game plan's out the window, and they don't really want to go man because they don't want to face Booby. They really don't want to face me. They don't want to face
And
Buck.
that's the thing. They
don't,
did. It was like they go, man. They didn't want to face you, and it was like they go to Booger. It's like, oh hell no.
They didn't want to face Booger. They didn't want to face Booby. They didn't
Right.
want to face Nicky Sanchez.
Right.
Shout out to Nick Sanchez, the
Right.
leaping
Shout out to
Rican.
Nick. Yeah.
6'4". Yeah, boy was
Jump
a
out
problem.
the
Christ the
fucking
King.
gym. Yes.
Florida, he's a problem. You know, so you're talking about a dude who did a move one night in Coliseum where he made a fake going baseline, and when he shifted, the entire Coliseum leaned. Fans and all.
Listen.
The ref looked at me, I said.
Now that right there is something that this generation will never understand and accept because we have YouTube and all that other shit. Now it's too easy to try to be part of something and not really be part of it.
Let me tell you something that's crazy. And I can shout out dudes, and because I live with it, because it happened. My man Pup from Gates Avenue
Right.
floored me in Solno Hole in a 12 noon game. Dropped me, I mean, all fours. Like I almost was in a push-up position. I popped up, he made the shot, whatever. We won. I'm walking home. A dude was on the bus and yelled out, "Yo, I heard you got floored." No emails, no IG,
nothing. Yeah, no nothing.
How?
So, yeah.
And he's coming from like Woodhall. Like, how did he know? Yeah, that's how crazy it was. First of all, you can't deny you got floored because everybody saw it. But how did he find it?
How did he
I'm
find
still
out?
trying
Yeah.
to figure that out. It's
That's
like we're Jimmy Hoffa.
Those are amazing stories. Those are the stories that we trying to bring to the viewers, to the sports viewers that's out there. It's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of history out there.
The hidden gems.
The hidden gems. Like I could tell a story. I used to play for a team called the Regulators in Harlem. Alimo, bless his soul. Alimo was on this particular team, and at the time I didn't know who he was. Me and him got into an argument on the court. I cursed him. "Oh, fuck you ain't shit. Boom, boom, boom." One of my partners was with me. He was like, "You don't know who that is?" I'm like, "No."
You're like, no.
I'm like, "No, I'm from Brooklyn." Next day we had practice. He didn't say nothing to me. He came in the gym, looked at me, like, "I got you." Right? He came down, did a stutter step. I went that way. He went that way. After that, I knew who he was.
Newfound
I was like, so it's like stories like that. I want to bring, to the viewers.
Like what they say, sometimes what's understood doesn't have to be discussed.
Yes.
So I knew you knew at that point that this guy's different.
Yeah, I already knew. Like after that, I ain't seen nothing else to him. I just kept coming up there playing ball with him. I was
because we're on the same team.
Yeah, he was on the same team. And you know what's funny about that whole time? It was just one kid who was coming in the gym with a pair of Nikes on his shoulder, a pair of brand new Jordans, right? everybody come in. He come in, everybody, Maze, how you doing? So I used to be like, who's this big fucking head guy? You know, he come in every day fresh. After the game, everybody sit on the steps and be, joking around, ranking each other, right? 2 weeks later, I found out I was Mace and Betha. Like, I'm playing ball with Mace and never knew that. Like, I never knew that was him cursing him out. Yo, pass the ball, bro. Yo, your big ass fucking head. Yo, Brooklyn, I got you, Brooklyn. That's how he was. He could play. He was like, yo, Brooklyn, I got you. I'm like, yo, son, you do this bullshit every game, son. He like, yo, I got you, Brooklyn. Yeah, I remember one game he bought me some food from the chicken spot. He was like, I told you, I got you. And there's stories like that need to be told, that people need to hear it, So, that's why, we started this podcast to give opportunities to, legends like yourself. I call you a legend. It doesn't matter if you made the league. I saw you play with everybody that made the league. So it's like.
Play with a lot of guys that did.
You're a legend.
Again, different era. Appreciate it, man.
You're a legend.
It's like I always tell people, like, you don't hear people talk about Lanard.
No, you don't.
But everybody knows about Nard.
Right.
No one talks about Joe Dumars, but everybody knows about Joe Dumars. Mm-hmm. So I look at it like that. Like, and basketball afforded me the opportunity to do a lot of things, go a lot of places, meet a whole lot of people, And then, like, again, we grew up in an era where we weren't afraid to travel and do it. We played all, again, like I said, we played all sports.
Tito, what's going on over there? What you got brewing over there? You looking like you about to hit him with some.
Because we keep going back and forth. We was talking about with the NBA.
Yeah, I was about to go to that, because I definitely want to hear what Lanard got to say. Well, let's start off like this. Let's start off like this. Then the All-Star game is this weekend, as you know. We have Team LeBron against Team Giannis. I do not know how to pronounce his whole name, so I'm calling him Giannis.
And it's crazy.
That's good. How about
but the thing is, like, shout out to my team, the Bucks. If you look at my page, you see I'm a Bucks fan.
Yeah, you're a Bucks fan.
Been a Bucks fan.
I saw that. So do I need to read down the rosters? I mean, to the NBA All-Star squads this year, or do you pretty much know them?
No, it's crazy. As a basketball fan, I'm a little embarrassed because I don't know them.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the starters. I'm gonna read the starters.
I know that.
Okay.
The Milwaukee Bucks are captain.
Yes. All right, it's Team LeBron, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, and plus LeBron. That's the starters. Okay. First question: what about that squad? Do you like it?
It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, do you think somebody else should be in that starting spot?
Starting spot? Yeah. Like out west, it's really hard. James Harden having a phenomenal year.
Right.
But he's in the starting five, correct?
Yeah, he's in the starting five.
And Kyrie.
Tito, what you think? What do you think?
No, I think they're pretty solid.
It's a solid squad.
They're solid.
I see Kyrie doing a lot more defense than he's anticipating because of Harden.
But not in the All-Star game. He ain't playing no defense.
Yeah, they ain't playing no defense. All right, so
you see where I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're gonna have to help a little more.
So Team Giannis is Giannis, Steph Curry. I got to get the glasses for this one. I'm sorry, I can't see. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Kemba Walker. Those
solid
start.
Solid.
Shout out to Kemba Walker. He's a Bronx native.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And I think this is his first time starting. I believe it is. So shout out to Kemba Walker.
And he's the hometown favorite in Charlotte.
Yes, he is.
It's sad because he's really not the hometown favorite because Steph is from Charlotte. So people miss that. And his dad played in Charlotte.
You're right.
Yeah, Steph Curry's from Charlotte.
Yeah, he's from Charlotte. Father did play.
Father played in Charlotte. So a lot of dudes miss that. Like, shout out to the boy Kimba, man. We rooting for you, man.
Right. Who y'all think?
But you know them light skinned dudes, Kimba.
Who you think will pull the MVP out? Who you think will pull the MVP
I'm saying, like, with them being in Charlotte, it could be Kimba or Steph. Depending upon how many shots Kimba get.
I always said, whatever city that the NBA have the All-Star event in, I always said the MVP goes to
the player from that city.
No, the owner. It depends if the owner treats you right. like for instance, if you in Charlotte, the owner treats you right, that means your player gonna win.
Yeah.
MVP. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to. It's just like with the culture.
Yeah,
it's crazy to use that word because we got with the culture. I always be like the boss of the Charlotte Hornets or the boss of the New York Knicks. I hate the word owner and everything because they already believe that. You know what I mean? That's why they have that situation in football now with because they believe that they own you because they pay you a salary. You know what I mean? But they don't understand. Like if you weren't the player you were, they wouldn't be making the money they're making. Right. So like the bosses are something else, but it's a business.
So what's your take on the way the NBA is being played now. I'm pretty sure you know it's everything's a run and gun type play now. It's pretty much it's not no defense. I mean, it's some defense, but it's not.
Well, you gotta know the
it's
history.
like everybody coming down shooting.
You gotta know the history of the game. When you know the history of the game, see, I'm a student of the game.
Right.
Like I study the game.
Right. Let's talk
That's
about
why
it.
even like
Let's
with,
talk about
like
it.
with Justice League with our program, we teach
Right.
the game because David Stern wanted a global league.
Right.
That's why I started bringing a lot of foreigners in. He broke the rules down. It wasn't enough touching. They changed. It wasn't ISO. They wanted to be able to swing the ball. That's why everything is a stretch 4, stretch 3.
Stretch 3,
Like
stretch
dudes
5.
aren't playing on the block no more. That's why guys like Embiid kill because
File out
nobody.
and extend. Shit
That's
like
why
that.
dudes
Right.
like Embiid kill because he's a brute who can play under the basket.
Right.
Excuse me.
Right.
But the way the game play now is bad because it's soft. You know, you can't touch them. You foul somebody, it's a flagrant 9, and you can't play the next 2 days, and it's crazy. It's really whack. But
You getting text for getting upset?
yeah, you can't be emotional. You dunk on somebody and you can't be emotional. Like you mad hype.
Right.
Like
That's
you know
like
what I mean?
unsportsmanlike conduct. in
Well,
the
what's
end
y'all
zone or
two,
something like
Tito?
that.
Yeah.
That's
Tito,
horrible.
what's your predictions? You know, of this NBA year. You know,
That is
who you
soft.
think?
I agree it's soft. Oh, sorry.
It's soft.
The NBA is mad
It's
soft.
soft.
See, but also too, it's so different. Like people be like, oh, he fouled him. How we grew up getting fouled. And if you again,
No blood, no foul.
Right, but again, you know the history.
Right.
Basketball is a contact sport. There will
No,
be
that's
contact.
what I'm-
But
exactly.
As long as it's not intentional.
Football
yeah.
is a collision sport. The object is to collide into you and and discharge you from the ball, like separate the two. You know, so it becomes a little different. And in basketball, they took that away because the old Knicks, the old Pistons, like they play physical, they got up in you. Remember, they changed the game because Mark Jackson used to walk guys down. So they started the hand check in the 5 seconds to take away the one-on-one.
You're right.
But James Harden had 30,000 dribbles in the last 30 games, they said, because he pats the ball all day.
Right.
Like, that's what's going to hurt you.
So where they get this? As you see, you watch Houston as much as we do. You know, we watch Houston as well. You know, shout out to Houston Rockets, and you see the way he do that step back. That's not a travel to you, bro. I mean,
It looks like a travel.
it looks like a travel.
But
It
again,
does.
I'm up in age, so my eyes
Right,
be playing
right.
tricks on me, and he's allowed to get away with it.
Yeah.
So
I
you know
mean,
the rule.
It's phenomenal the way he's getting away
But
with
you know
it.
the rule. Like if the refs don't call it, it didn't happen.
Yeah, that
You
that's
know.
true.
So
Do you think they can compete with Golden State this year? I mean, Houston.
Golden State's gonna be too hard to beat.
You think so?
You know why? Because you can't. All 4 of them are not gonna be off every night.
That's true. That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
and then Booby Cousins. Booby Cousins is
Right.
a mismatch problem.
Right. Well, I watch it, and
He's a
they
mismatch
working him
problem.
in. They working him in slowly but surely. I'm
because
watching
he
him.
has range
Right.
and because he's a brute.
Right.
So you know,
Right.
it's gonna be hard to beat them. It's gonna be hard to beat them in a 7-game series.
In 7-game series. Why do you think the NBA was structured like that now, where everybody want to be on a super team?
Well, that's
Why is that?
this era. You got to remember this era.
Sponsorships, man.
Yeah, not even that.
Sponsorships and-
Not even that,
Money,
Flacco. Check it out. This era, everybody loved their man. Everybody want to be with their mans. That's why dudes is on Instagram posting pictures of their mans. They mans this, they mans that. They don't even post their kids. Everything is their mans. So these dudes, they're kids. They want to play with their mans. You know what I'm saying? The blessing, the benefit is that an owner will trade you in the middle of the night and uproot your whole family. Now these guys are picking where they want to go.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that's
yeah,
dope.
Back in the
Because
90s
now-
and 2000, you couldn't do that.
Well, they
You
didn't have
could
that.
not do
They,
that.
they didn't have that camaraderie because again, those players
Right.
wanted to play against certain players. I don't want to play with you. I want to beat you.
Right.
These guys now, I'll play with you because I want to beat them. But if we can get him, we can beat them.
We could beat them.
You know,
Right,
it's
right,
it's
right.
stuff like that. Like Portland and I'm gonna say Milwaukee, Portland, and Golden State
Right.
are maybe you could say OKC because they're playing different this year. Are probably the only teams in the NBA without egos because these dudes just gel. They just play.
Right.
You can tell they're having fun.
Yeah, they just gel.
The environment, the energy is
They
good.
just traded Dennis Smith because he feel this guy's patting the ball too much. And he's not 19. There's no way Luka Doncic is 19.
Right.
He's a man. that kid is special, man. Shout out to Luka.
Well,
Alright.
being that we, still talking a little bit about the NBA, bringing that up. Let's talk about, the Knicks. Right now the Knicks got the worst record in the NBA right now. Shout out to the Knicks. I'm still a Knicks fan.
Knicks got the worst management.
However, a lot of people thinking they tanking, and by saying that they tanking, let's talk a little bit about college. The AP poll, the top 25 poll. In college, Tennessee and Duke is number 1 and number 2. Tennessee is number 1, Duke is number 2.
I like Tennessee.
I saw Tennessee play, and I like them too. However, I like Gonzaga. Gonzaga is number 3.
I'm always biased against Gonzaga.
Why is that? I think Gonzaga can beat Duke, though. I really think so.
I think Nevada could beat Duke.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Duke doesn't shoot the ball well every night.
Right, they don't.
But the reason I'm biased about Gonzaga is, again, we got to talk about the culture.
Okay.
And it's crazy because this is sports and culture. The prism, the color prism shouldn't matter.
Right.
But Gonzaga is a major D1.
Right.
They win their conference every year, yet they're always a Cinderella.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's something I wanted to ask you about, college and D1. But before we get to that, what I was saying is, as we were saying that the Knicks is tanking, and we all know that they're tanking, and right now everybody's talking about the Zion Williams kid. What's you guys' take on Zion Williams? I want to hear from both of you.
Zion's nice. The kid he's talented.
Do you think he'd be a good
beyond
fit for
talented.
the New York? You think he can handle the New York atmosphere?
It's not that he can't handle.
No,
the
you
New
know
York
how
atmosphere.
New Yorkers. I mean, for him to be a man here in New York, do you think he can handle that pressure?
I'm afraid that they will overhype him. And because he's young, to come to New York, it is a big deal, right? And I'm afraid that he will lose himself.
Great,
Because there's a lot of distraction.
great analogy.
Okay.
And they don't have the. We've
Right.
already discussed they don't have the best coaching.
I agree.
So,
I agree, and to piggyback off what Flacco said, is that New York is a town that wants a microwave effect. They want it now.
Yeah, they
don't want to wait.
That's what I'm saying. They want it
And
now.
also, New York is not a town. They don't develop players. New York is not a town for a young kid like Zion, who we don't know if he's intellectually stable enough to survive New York.
It's a lot of distraction.
That's
The
what I'm
madness,
talking about,
it's
the
a lot.
madness.
But also as a basketball player, I'll never compare him and LeBron because they're different players.
Right.
But I respect LeBron because LeBron has 20,000 points and he doesn't have no moves.
That's amazing.
Right? But Zion doesn't have any moves. We don't know. Zion can't go. It looks to me, I've been watching him a couple of games this year, he doesn't go right well.
I
He
saw
doesn't
that.
create
Right.
for himself well.
Right.
And when you're in the NBA, every night he's going to be facing someone that's just as athletic and that's also between the size of 6'7" and 7 feet. Every night. They're not boys.
Every night.
They're
You're
not
right.
boys.
You're right. Every night.
So
Every night.
therefore,
You're right.
it's going to be a proving ground for him. I think the kid is going to be exceptional. I think the kid is really going to be exceptional because the kid really, he's an amazing talent.
Yeah.
But also too, he's going to need to play with a good point guard because like the Knicks haven't had a good point guard since.
I would say Mark
man,
Jackson.
I
but
know,
I'm
no,
not
past
even-
that. No,
Nah,
yeah.
nah, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
Derek
I would
Harper,
say, no, yeah,
Doc
you're right.
Rivers, those guys was
You're
good.
right. They was great. They was good.
But when you go back, you look at Patrick Ewing ruined Charlie Ward and Chris Child's career.
Yeah.
Because Pat Ewing pop out 60 feet from the basket and they can't say no when he asked for it.
Yeah.
They had to give it to him.
They had to give it to
Derek Harper, Doc Rivers used to wave Pat off, saying, "Go back to the block, Pat." You know?
Right.
So they got accustomed to making bad decisions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. See, that's
Like-
crazy. I
like-
watched the Knicks and I never thought about that.
Like you gotta know that you gotta
Right.
again the game.
The game, right.
Like when you know the game. Zion is gonna be he's probably gonna be a good pro. But how good we don't know.
Yeah,
yet.
I think he'd be a great pro.
And they
but it's
comparing
like,
him
how
to so
good?
many players. But if you really want to compare him to someone, you would have to compare him to a young Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson was 6'5",
Yeah.
played on the block, had unlimited ups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Strong as an ox.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He was that guy.
Right.
Also changed the game. People don't speak about it. Larry Johnson changed the game of basketball because he got that big money contract in Charlotte, which forced Alonzo to leave because Alonzo said, "I thought I was the face."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
again,
you're right.
it's
You're
like
right. You're
like
right.
my studying
No, your analogy is on point because
but R.J. Barrett,
you're absolutely right.
I don't think
What
R.J.
about
Barrett.
what about
Basics of Business Seminar by S.STREET Media is going to be hosted Tuesday, February 19th.
There we
Since we're
go.
speaking so much about business,
Yes.
you want to make money, learn how to save it and invest.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. And what's number 2 on there or number 3? Entrepreneurial spirit. You gotta have that.
Entrepreneur spirit.
Like I was telling
you gotta have it. Yes, you do.
I was telling Sosa, like, you don't change the destination. The route might change because we come across obstacles and things of that nature, but the destination remains the same.
Right.
Ain't no plan B.
Nope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Work around the circumstance.
Yeah, we get into it.
Work around it.
You know,
Right. You're absolutely
and
right.
R.J. Barrett, I don't know how good a pro he's going to be. I wouldn't put the franchise on him. Me personally, I'm just saying me personally.
You wouldn't put the tag on
I
him.
wouldn't put the
Right.
tag on him because
Right. They compare
he's
him to
another
Kevin
kid who's
Durant,
left-handed.
but I don't see it.
No, he doesn't shoot well.
I don't see it.
First of all, he doesn't shoot well. It takes a lot of bad shots. But then again, this is me from my perspective. What I like in a play and how when I see things. I just did a thing. I didn't post it or anything, but I just did a thing. I call it the what if team.
Right.
Like what if they never got hurt? Now my 5 is Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Larry Johnson, Allen Houston, and Ralph Sampson.
Those are big names. I think Ralph Sampson. That
dude.
Ralph Sampson.
That's the new challenge right now.
Ralph Sampson.
That's the new
He
challenge.
played with Akeem Olajuwon.
Yes,
They
sir.
was called
The
the Twin
Twin
Towers,
Towers.
right? The
Yes,
Twin
sir.
Towers. Yeah, they was all
That's
together.
the new
Yeah.
challenge,
Yeah.
man.
Yes,
Give
sir.
props,
See,
give props
listen.
to those who made their way and earned it, but fell in the shadows for whatever reason.
Yeah, because I always ask people, you have a choice. You only got one pick,
Okay.
barring no injuries.
All right, so,
who do you take? Grant Hill or Penny Hardaway? I pose that to
Who we
Flacco.
playing? Who we playing?
Word, I don't know.
Depend on who's the adversary.
Yeah.
We got to beat somebody up. We got to go so.
Yeah.
We got to go so.
Word. Like, bounce, with that, like college, like the kid John Morant from Murray State, pure athlete. A lot of people, like him and Zion played on the same AAU squad.
Right.
So what's the word back in the days? Like a slaughter, right? You would say that's
Yeah,
like a slaughter.
like a slaughter.
Well, Zion's a man,
He reminds me. He reminds me of a lot of ball players here in Brooklyn.
So if
Nobody
we're
never know
going
about.
back to the youngins and how they're dealing with big contracts and whatnot, right? So so would you compare? Actually, not, because Ball had a lot of other circumstances that dealt with stuff.
Right.
What's that? What do you mean?
Lonzo Ball, right? Like he got a lot of. I think the kid is good. He has a lot of room for growth.
A system. He needs a system.
He
His
has a lot of room
system.
for growth.
He has to go up and down. That's his system.
But at the same time, it gives because maybe it's that because he went to the Lakers, because it was the glitz and the glamour and all that shit, and keep his pops out of it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But going to something
Dad is
like
a genius. Shout out to his dad.
Marketing.
Not
genius.
even that. Here's a man here's a black man. And it's sad that we always have to use color, but here's a black man who, with his wife, living in a house with his kids, and his kids afford the opportunity to go to school for free.
Right.
They're good.
He put them in that position. He'd have to come out as dime for college.
For everybody
now
talking
his son's
shit, that's
a
how
pro.
you're supposed to support your kids.
Yeah,
Right,
but the
right.
thing is, too, when you look at support and everything,
Not
like
just
people
financially.
miss. We miss because we live in a society where we have an alarming rate of present absentee fathers. And that probably sounds crazy, but like you have a lot of dads that live in the house with their kid
Right.
and don't know their
Right.
kid's teacher.
Right. Well,
But in this day and age, in this culture, you have mothers that are giving birth to children but don't want to be moms. Like you got a lot of single dads.
That's true.
So
That's
shout out to Ball.
Right.
Shout out to Grant Hill pops. You know what I mean? Like this-
Absolutely.
Like you got fathers that did a shout out to Stephon Marbury pops.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got a lot of people, man, that really doing the right thing, but they don't get the love. You know what I mean? They don't get the support. Like I always say, it's like a joke, but I always say like, all my Spanish friends, all my Puerto Ricans, I didn't know what Spanish was. I just knew Puerto Ricans. So all my Puerto Rican friends, like their father was the only one that worked, but all 5 of them went to Catholic school. Like, how you
That's
doing
what's
that? Bobby wicked with the budget.
But listen,
like,
listen. This is what we gotta do. Listen,
We're gonna have to continue that one.
we're gonna continue
That's a
this.
little deeper than we anticipated for this show.
We're gonna continue this. You know, Lanard, we want to thank you for coming out to our
I
first
appreciate
show.
Absolutely.
you guys,
Once
man.
again,
Thanks for having me,
again,
Thank you for coming out.
It's definitely a way that we want to set off the first
What we
show.
also want to do, we want to bring you on to the video show. You know, we come out, work out with you and your AAU team. You know,
All right,
interview
say
you
no
guys
more.
and all that.
Appreciate
Blacko, what's
it.
going on?
That'd
You got
be
something you want to say?
We definitely gotta give a shout out again to S.STREET Media. A reminder that we have the Barbers and Bud edition coming up from 6 to 10 on the 24th of February, which is Sunday. So definitely hit him up on Instagram for all the details. Also, Joe Fatale's Fish and Grits is coming up with 718 Collective is throwing it down. S.STREET Family Media, S.STREET Media Family. It's what it is. Everything is building, popping off. Check the hashtags. You know, follow the ads, and you want to learn and grow and expand on yourself and your brand. I think you should really start paying attention because this is more than just regular media. This is expanding of everything for everybody.
Shout out to S.STREET Media. You know,
Shout out
once
to S.STREET
again,
Media. Thank
shout
you
out-
again, guys.
Shout us out for having us, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate that. Also, the guys, S.STREET Media, you know, we working on a little mixtape coming out. So any information, you know, hit up S.STREET Media on Instagram. And, you know, we take it from there. All right?
Send your submissions.
Yeah, send in your music and don't send in no bullshit.
Because if you don't hear from it, you know what it was.
Exactly.
Or I'll pull your card on another show. That'll be fun.
What about if only your man got your music? Like, that's bad when only your man got your CD.
But I sold 30 copies.
Might want to take city tests.
Well, you know, check us out same time, same place.
Same place, S.STREET Media, the new home right now. Because it's popping in this year. Everything is about growth. Blacktop Sports. We got so many fucking surprises up the sleeve that you guys really don't want to sleep.
That's it. You know,
Shaq, take us out of here.
Well, we here, you know, first and foremost, I just want to give a shout out to God. I'm going to give a shout out to S.STREET Media for having us, you know. Shout out to Lanard coming through. And we off the air, you know. Hit us up.
First show's a wrap. Deuces.